Okay, it being 5 p.m., the Lafourche Parish Council meeting of May 13, 2025 is hereby called to order. Ms. Carleen, can you please conduct roll call?
Yes, sir. Mr. Brumfield. Mr. Adams. Mr. Perk.
Here.
Mr. Melvin.
Here.
Mr. Pierce.
Here.
Mr. Arabi.
Here.
Chairman Ote.
Here.
Mrs. Chasson. Councilman Lorraine is absent, and President Chasson. Thank you.
If everyone would please rise, we'll be led in invocation by Councilman Broomfield, followed by Pledge of Allegiance by Councilman Perk.
Heavenly Father, God, Jehovah, we thank you for your divine presence. We ask your divine guidance tonight, and we thank you for everything that's going to take place. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, I'd like to welcome everyone to tonight's meeting. First order of business, I'll ask everyone to please silence your phones and/or turn them off out of respect for others. Next, I'd like to remind everyone that there are blue forms at the entrance door. If you're wishing to address the council, please fill out a form, get it up to the council clerk. We'll be sure to recognize you during public wishing to address the council. Additionally, as we go through our agenda, when we hit ordinances, we will ask 3 times for public input prior to our discussion and ultimately to vote. However, when we go through resolutions, it'll only be discussions amongst the council members, and then we'll bring it to vote. So specifically, if you want to discuss something in a resolution, please make sure to address it during public wishing to address the council. With that said, we'll jump right into tonight's meeting. Item A, state and/or federal legislative updates. I don't see any legislators in the audience. Brings us to item B. We have none. Brings us to item C. Proclamations. Item 1, Parish President Archie Chesson to present a proclamation proclaiming May 2025 as Community Action Month. Give me 1 second, Mr. President. Okay, you have the floor, Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Community Action is a state and local force connecting people to life-changing services and creating pathways to prosperity in 99% of all American counties and in all 64 parishes in Louisiana. Whereas the Community Action Network in Louisiana consists of 42 public and nonprofit agencies working statewide to help low-income residents of Louisiana break the cycle of poverty and achieve self-sufficiency. And whereas the community action agencies have been serving low-income families and individuals in every parish in Louisiana for 61 years. And whereas the community action agencies in Louisiana are skilled at advancing opportunities by coordinating federal, state, local, and private resources to deliver meaningful results for both individuals and communities. And whereas these agencies provide a wide array of services to Louisiana's low-income residents, including Head Start, housing and emergency assistance, child and adult care, food programs, employment, education and training, energy assistance, prevention programs, individual development, accounts, transportations, and more. And whereas Community Action proudly recognizes 61 years of innovation and impact in measurable results in improving the lives and strengthening communities across Louisiana. Now, therefore, I, Archie Chesson, Parish President Lafourche, do hereby proclaim May 2025 as Community Action Month. And we have our great Community Action team who, if you've seen the press releases over the last couple of months, have been knocking it out of the park. And for the second or third, I always mess this one up, second year in a row, they have completed 100% with no findings, no issues, and gotten our needs assessments done across the board. So kudos to them, Mr. Chairman.
Yeah.
I don't need to do it. Bring it and hand it into Thursday, right? Yeah, I'm gonna fill it in. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna try to do it for the end of the meeting. Yeah. Ms. Carlin, stickers or just stickers?
What's that?
None of them want to talk, Mr. Chairman.
No worries.
Are we good here?
Yes.
Okay, Allie Crisoni, Adams, 215 Vacherie Street, Lockport, Louisiana 70374. Thank y'all so much for this. Our staff works very hard every single day to help everyone around us. Without the support of the council, the administration, our community partnerships, the state, everything, we would not be able to do what we do every day. So thank you guys for the support.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Okay, item 2, Parish President Archie Chestnut will present a proclamation proclaiming May 15th through June 15th, 2025 as Tourette Syndrome Awareness Month. Mr. President, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Whereas Tourette syndrome is inherited a neurological disorder that is characterized by involuntary physical and vocal tics that may occur many times a day. And whereas Tourette syndrome is often accompanied by other mental health disorders such as attention deficit and obsessive compulsive disorder, learning disabilities, and anxiety. And whereas Tourette syndrome and tic disorders account in every 1 in 100 children, more than 11,112 school-age children in Louisiana alone are dealing with Tourette syndrome. And although some of these cases are aided by medication, there is no standard treatment and known cure for the disorder. And whereas there's an important need for more professional help with the interest and expertise to identify, counsel, and treat people with Tourette syndrome, a disorder that is often misdiagnosed and misunderstood. And whereas the positive actions to assist children and families living with Tourette syndrome would result in a broadening of a public and professional knowledge and acceptance of Tourette syndrome, and whereas the Tourette Association of America is actively providing services to families, educating medical professionals and teachers, and supporting research to better understand the signs and treatments of TS. Now, therefore, I, Archie Chestnut, Parish President Lafourche, do hereby proclaim May 15th through June 15th as Tourette Syndrome Awareness Month. And I think we have Ms. Odemo here, who's going to accept it on behalf of the association.
Turn the lectern. If you don't mind, just state your name and address so we can get it on the record.
Yes, it's Brandy Odemo, and my address is 233 Rue de la Verte in Raceland, Louisiana, 70394. Good evening, everyone, council members, President Chasson, esteemed community representatives. I wanted to thank you for allowing me the opportunity to speak today a little bit about Tourette syndrome. So I myself have a tic disorder. I do not have Tourette syndrome, but my son has a severe case. So we experience a lot of adversity with him within the education system, public. He did not want to be here tonight for fear that he would say something. So Tourette syndrome is a neurological disorder, as President Chasson said. It typically presents in childhood, and it's characterized by involuntary movements and vocalizations called tics. These can be as simple as blinking or throat clearing, or as complex as full body movements or repeated phrases. What's essential to understand is that these tics are not intentional. They're not behavioral issues. They're not attention-seeking actions or signs of disrespect. They are neurological in origin and often uncontrollable. In many cases, Tourette syndrome also co-occurs with the conditions such as ADHD, OCD, and anxiety, which President Chesler covered that. One of the biggest challenges faced by individuals with Tourette syndrome is misunderstanding. Contrary to popular media portrayals, only a small minority of individuals with Tourette syndrome, about 1 in 10, experience coprolalia, and that is the involuntary use of inappropriate language. And my son has coprolalia. It does not affect intelligence at all. Many individuals with Tourette syndrome are high-achieving students, dedicated workers, and active members of their communities. What they need is a chance to thrive without stigma. I forgot to mention too, by the way, I am a local business owner, but I'm also, more importantly here, because I am a Tourette advocate through the Tourette Association of America. So we go through extensive training to help individuals in the community, surrounding areas, say Louisiana, that have Tourette syndrome. So why bring this to a parish council meeting? And it's because awareness starts locally. You all play a key role in setting the tone for how our schools, workplaces, community centers, and public spaces respond to the neurological and developmental differences. We have the opportunity and the responsibility to ensure that our community is a place where everyone, including individuals with Tourette syndrome, feel welcome and supported. So what does this mean? Supporting local educational programs that train teachers and school staff to recognize and accommodate Tourette syndrome, encouraging inclusive hiring practices in our local government and affiliated organizations, and making sure our public facilities and programs are accessible, welcoming, and flexible to people with a range of neurological conditions. And perhaps officially recognizing Tourette Syndrome Awareness Month, which runs from May 15th to June 15th, as a way of signaling that this parish values understanding, inclusion, and compassion. So my ask of you all today is simple. Let's raise local awareness. Let's help create a parish where children with Tourette syndrome can learn without fear, where adults with Tourette syndrome can work without judgment, and where families know that they're not alone. Tourette syndrome doesn't define the people who live with it, but our response as a community does help shape their experience. Thank you again for your time, your leadership, and your commitment to making our parish an inclusive place for all. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Well said. All right. That brings us to item D, presentation and our updates. We have none for tonight. Item E, engineers and our architect reports.
Good evening, John Plaisance with GIS Engineering, 16878 West Main Street in Cutoff. Council Chair and members, thank you for the opportunity to speak to you all this afternoon. I know y'all have got a long agenda, so I'll try to get through this reasonably quickly. Butch Pump Station, we are pretty much ready to go out and bid on this project. The North Lafourche Levy District is working on some of the levies in that area. Once they are done, then we'll be able to move forward with this, with bidding this project, which I know has been a long time coming. Valentine Pontoon Bridge, after 18 to 24 months of trying to figure out what to do with the feds and the state, we do have a path forward on this project. So we are revising our drawings to match DOTD's style. So we should be, hopefully in the next couple of months, be ready to bid on this project. Probably take a little bit more than that because DOTD's always got to have some input, but we are getting close on this and we're moving forward.
Awesome.
It's been a while for this one as well. The Grand Bayou Freshwater reintroduction kind of ran into some funding issues, I believe. We have come to an agreement with the parish to downsize the pump station from 1,200 CFS to 840 CFS. And we are working on those design changes to accommodate that. The waste collection facility, I know that Dylan is working on alternate sites for that facility and also alternate funding sources for that facility. Hurricane Ida pump stations for, in particular, Ravenswood and Company Canal are getting close to the end on that project as well. So in the next couple of months, we'll be ready for advertising those projects. Eunice Alamo, we took bids. Volute Inc. is the contractor on that project. We held a pre-construction conference, gave them a notice to proceed. They are gathering their materials, in particular the pumps have a relatively long lead time, and they do have the Hamilton Street Bridge project, which is going on in that area. So that has to be coordinated with that because that is the access to that pump station site. And then the boardwalk, we're still working on permits for that. Do not know when that's going to happen. Not going to lie to you.
Very good.
And that should be it.
All right. Anyone has any questions? Mr. Araby, you have the floor first, sir.
Mr. Plaisance, you gave a little update on Butch Hill. Can you give it an update again, what you were saying?
We are pretty much ready to advertise, but the North Lafourche Levy District is relocating some of the levees in that area to better accommodate the construction of the pump station itself. So once that is in a spot where we can move forward with the bidding, we will.
So the last guy came here and said that we're waiting on the state.
We got that approved. We got that approval from facility planning.
We good with that?
Yes, sir.
So now we got another holdup.
Yeah, but it's construction as well, so whether that would have been part of this project or as a separate project, it still needed to be done.
So how long a wait you think we're gonna be holding off on now before we go out and bid?
I don't know, but I think it'll be a couple of months.
Well, it's a long time since November, and here we are in
In May,
May.
yes, sir, and
April.
at the way it's going, it'll probably be November before you see construction.
I kind of figured that. Thank you.
Mr. Perk, you have the floor, sir.
Just, and I don't know if this may be directed to Dylan or Parish President, relative to the waste, so we're going to abandon that site and start, I know that's been an ongoing battle, so I was just curious.
Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So we really don't want to abandon the site. The huge issue we're having is that when that landfill was capped, we did the soil borings, right? And we hid garbage everywhere we tried to put the thing. So what we're trying to figure out with DEQ is if they will let us dig basically a big hole and dispose of that garbage at our landfill site and then backfill with what we need to be able to do it. We're not sure that they're going to allow us to do that and break that cap on that landfill. We did have a pipeline issue a couple of weeks ago in the back where we had to dig up a whole bunch of garbage. So we're trying to use that now as a precedent to say, well, we did it for a pipeline. Why can't we do it up here? And then the alternate funding source that Mr. John talked about was we were made aware of about a $4 million grant through EPA. So Christy and her staff and Grants and Economic Development have filed that grant. So while we're working on the rest of this stuff, we're going to be chasing that grant money. So hopefully we don't really have to pay for this thing at the end of the day. We have a huge grant that's going to come in and take care of us.
Is it thought that the grant would be to purchase property in a different location?
No, I'm still pretty hopeful that we're going to be able to build it here. But if so, then we may downsize a little bit, use the money for the purchase of the property, and just not build the big concrete ramp as large as we had anticipated. We've also looked at building it just flat on the ground, so we didn't need a pile supported structure. But the whole point of this was for somebody to be able to drive up on it and toss stuff out and down without having to throw it up over into a dumpster. So we're working through those issues.
Good. Yeah, I really look forward to being able to dump branches somewhere because I sent email drive today. It was like 5 piles of branches. All those people would have hauled it to a location if they had a location to haul it to. But thank you. Appreciate it.
Good, no problem.
Do we have any other engineers and architects? None. All right. Brings it to item F, public wishing to address the council, public hearings agenda item, et cetera. We have no one. Brings it to item G, approval of minutes. Number 3, I now entertain a motion to accept the minutes of the April 22nd, 2025 regular session. So moved by Mr. Brumfield, second by Mr. Williams. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item H, 2025 millages, public hearings and public. Oh, that's at 6. So is that for I as well? So we're going all the way to J. Okay, so being it's not 6 o'clock, I'll now entertain a motion to deviate from regular agenda to item J, public hearing and ordinances for ratification. So moved by Mr. Araby, second by Mr. Melvin. All in favor signify by saying aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Lorraine. Item J, public hearing ordinances for ratification. I entertain a motion to open public hearing. So moved by Mr. Perk, second by Mr. Williams. All in favor signify by saying aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item 21, ordinance approving an agreement to purchase and sell property between Jerry Leday and Karina Petrie Leday and Lafourche Parish government for the property located at 18594 Highway 3235, Galliano, Louisiana 70354, Track 1 through Track 4, and authorize the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any all relevant documents. This was originally sponsored by Mr. Lorraine for administration, deferred from the 4/22/25 Lafourche Parish Council meeting. There was no public hearing held. And we want to defer that to?
Go with, Mr. Chairman, if I can. So we're going to do item 21 and 23, and I will tell you why, if I can, Mr. Chairman.
Sure.
Bristow made some last-minute changes on Friday to their end of the agreement. Doesn't really affect this one, but we're going to do them as a package so we can talk about them all together. Let me pull up my calendar real quick. So let's shoot for the May 27th meeting if we can, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, so we deferred item 21 to the May 27th, 2025 meeting.
Same with 23 when you get there.
And I'll do the same thing when we get to number 23. All right, item 22, ordinance accepting the subdivision known as a settlement at Live Oak Phase 5 into the parish system. Mr. Adams for the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 22? Second call, public input, ordinance at 22. Last and final call, anyone from the public would like to comment on the ordinance at number 22? Anyone from the council? There be none, we'll bring it to a vote. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passed, 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Lorraine. Item 23, as discussed, will be deferred to the May 27, 2025 meeting. All good? Yeah, I know, I keep saying William, but it is William T. Boo Adams. Anyway, so we good on the defers. We're ready to move on. So with that said, I'll now entertain a motion to close public hearing. Motion by Mr. Adams, second by Mr. Brumfield. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passed, 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Lorraine. Item K, proposed ordinances. Mr. Perk, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. K, proposed ordinance. Number 24, proposed ordinance amending ordinance number 2866, reducing the speed limit from 25 miles per hour to 20 miles per hour on Hummingbird Drive, Bayou Blue, Louisiana, Ward 11, District 5, Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, requiring the placement of speed limit signs and providing penalties for the violations thereof. Councilman Pierce for administration. Number 25, proposed ordinance to remove the existing speed limit sign located between the 404 and 406 block of Brandywine Boulevard in Brandywine subdivision and install a solar-powered radar display speed limit sign, evolution radar feedback sign, to be placed on the right-hand side of Brandywine Boulevard between the 404 and 406 block when traveling down the boulevard from Highway 1, Thibodaux, Louisiana, Ward 6, District 4.
Ward 2.
Ward 2, District 4, Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, providing for the placement of a solar-powered radar display speed limit sign as designated within this ordinance and providing penalties for the violations thereof. Councilman Melvin for administration. 26, proposed ordinance to install a 24-hour flashing solar-powered stop sign, FLC 24-hour flash at the corner of Holiday Drive and Country Club Boulevard when entering into Bayou Country Club subdivision, Thibodaux, Louisiana, Ward 2, District 4, Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, providing for the placement of the 24-hour flashing solar-powered stop sign and providing penalties for the violations thereof. Councilman Melvin for administration. Number 27, proposed ordinance establishing a 15 miles per hour speed limit on Myrtle Drive, Raceland, Louisiana, Ward 3, District 6, Parish of Lafourche, State of Louisiana, requiring the placement of speed limit signs and providing penalties for the violations thereof. Councilman Arabi for administration. Number 28, proposed ordinance to officially rename the Delta Farm Boat Launch the Larry Dominique Memorial Boat Launch. Councilwoman Delynn Chasson for administration. Number 29, proposed ordinance providing for a 2025 supplemental appropriation 25-003 within the 2025 operations and maintenance budget and capital outlay budget to correct carryover projects from the 2024 operations and maintenance budget and capital outlay budget, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said transactions as provided for by Article 6 of the Lafourche Parish Home Rule Charter. Chairperson Otam for administration. Number 30, proposed ordinance granting a variance from the Lafourche Parish subdivision regulations from the requirement of 8-inch thick concrete or 4-inch asphaltic concrete over an adequate base since the road construction was built under the previously accepted construction regulation for the acceptance of the existing Magnolia Street extension at Cypress Street and Acadia Park lot extensions as recommended by the Lafourche Parish Planning Commission at their April 30th, 2025 meeting. Councilman Arabi for administration. That's it, Mr. Chairman.
Thank you, Mr. Perk. Brings us to item L, resolutions. Item 31, resolution to remove one member from the Lafourche Parish Commission on Women Board at the request of the board and to also request administration to advertise for the vacancy accordingly. So moved by Mr. Perk, seconded by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item 32, resolution approving amendment number 1 to the agreement between Lafourche Parish Government and DRC Emergency Services LLC for contractor services relative to disaster debris removal and recovery services and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said amendment and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Perk for the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passed 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Lorraine. Item 33, resolution approving amendment number 1 to the agreement between Tetra Tech Incorporated and Lafourche Parish Government for contractor services relative to monitoring of disaster-generated debris removal, management, and technical assistance, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said amendment and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Perk for the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passed 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Lorraine. Item 34, resolution approving an agreement between Lafourche Parish Government, the Lafourche Parish Sheriff's Office, Lafourche Parish Clerk of Court, and the 17th Judicial District Court for courthouse security for the 2025 year, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Perk for the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Lorraine. Item 35, resolution approving amendment number 4 for the relocation of animal shelter voice and data services to their new facility and to temporarily relocate phone services for Division C and D of the 17th Judicial District Courts, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said amendment and any all relevant documents. Mr. Adams for the administration, second by Mr. Brumfield. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Lorraine. Item 36, resolution appointing 1 member on the Recreation District Number 11 Board. Mr. Pierce for the administration. And who do you have, Mr. Pierce?
We got 1 vacancy and 2 applicants. We're going to appoint Carol White, Jr.
Can I get a second? Second by Ms. Chesson. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Lorraine. Item 37, resolution reappointing 1 member on the Recreation District Number 2 Board. Mr. Arabi for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Arabi?
1 vacancy, 1 reappointment, Mr. Chad Audemars.
A second for Mr. Audemars. Second by Mr. Melvin. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Does anyone oppose? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Lorraine. Item 38, resolution reappointing 1 member to the Recreation District Number 1 Board. Mr. Perk for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Perk?
We have 1 vacancy, 1 reappointment, Mr. Garrett English.
Mr. English, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Lorraine. Item 39, resolution appointing 1 member on the Library Board of Control. Mr. Perk for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Perk?
We have 1 vacancy, 2 applicants. We'll appoint Ms. Ruby LeBlanc.
A second for Ms. LeBlanc. Second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Lorraine. Item 40, resolution reappointing 1 member to the Fire Protection District Number 4 Board. Mr. Melvin for the administration. Who do you have, Mr. Melvin?
Mr. Ruben Boudreau.
Mr. Boudreau, second by Ms. Chesson. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Lorraine. Item 41, resolution reappointing one member to the Drainage District Number 1 Board. Ms. Chesson for the administration. Who do you have, Ms. Chesson?
We have one vacancy, one reappointment, Mr. Brian Martz.
Mr. Mort, second by Mr. Araby. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Lorraine. Item 42, resolution reappointing one member to the Bayou Blue Fire Protection District of the parishes of Terrebonne and Lafourche Board. Mr. Pierce for the administration. And who do you have, Mr. Pierce?
We got one vacancy and one reappointment of Mr. Caleb Burdan.
Mr. Verdun, second by Mr. Araby. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item 43, resolution approving an agreement between the Office of Cyber Readiness, a division of Louisiana Governor's Office of Homeland Security and Emergency Preparedness, and the Lafourche Parish Government for conducting a cyber readiness assessment, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Adams for the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item 44, resolution rescinding resolution number 25-059 that accepted the low quote of Blue Ant Fence and Shutters Incorporated in the amount of $3,900 for contracted services related to nuisance abatement concerning the demolition of condemned structure located at 163 Lewis Street, La Rose, Louisiana, 70373, assessment number 00926000300, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Ms. Chestnut for the administration, second by Mr. Araby. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Councilman Lorraine. Item 45, resolution rescinding resolution number 25-063 that accepted the low quote of Blue Ant Fence and Shutters Incorporated in the amount of $3,300 for contracted services related to nuisance abatement concerning the demolition of condemned structure located at 7525 Highway 1, Lockport, Louisiana, 70374, assessment number 0041532010, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer any and all relevant documents. Mr. Perk for the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item 46, resolution approving agreement between Louisiana Department of the Treasury and Lafourche Parish Government for funding to improve drainage at Lake Long, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Perk for the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item 47, resolution approving agreement between Capital Area Finance Authority and Lafourche Parish Government, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Perk for the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item 48, resolution approving the issuance of bonds for Capital Area Finance Authority and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said certificate and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Perk for the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item 49, resolution approving a use of facility agreement between the Moses Community Center and Lafourche Parish Government for Lafourche Parish Recreation 2025 summer programs, and authorizing the parish president to sign, execute, and administer said agreement and any and all relevant documents. Mr. Brumfield for administration, second by Mr. Adams. Any discussion? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine brings us to item M. Motion. Number 50, I'll entertain a motion to appoint the Daily Comet, the only business, as the official journal for the Lafourche Parish Council for the period from July 1st, 2025 through June 30th, 2026 at the rate of $5.50 per square of 100 words. So moved by Mr. Perk. Can I get a second? Second by Mr. Adams. Discussion. There being none, we'll move it to a vote. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Anyone opposed? Nay. So nays, raise your hand. Mr. Melvin, so motion passes 7 yeas, 1 nay. Let the record reflect the 1 nay is Mr. Melvin, and 1 absence, that being Mr. Lorraine. Brings us to item N, Parish President, Department Heads, Directors, or Managers' Reports, or Presentations, and or Updates. Item 51, Department of Public Works Representative to present a report. And Mr. President, you have the floor, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Dylan had some family stuff to attend to tonight, but you guys were all emailed, as we have been, doing a copy of his presentation with all the work that was done the last month, as well as the pump station status report. And I will do my best to fill his shoes in and answer any questions if you have them.
Which brings us to item O, questions for the administration. Mr. Arabi, you have the floor first, sir.
Well, they answered one of my questions. That was the Butch Hill pump stations. But where we stand with the Butch Hill parking lot, Mr. Chasson?
All right, so the first inquiry, you have anything else, Terry?
Yes, I do.
Go ahead.
And I'd like to have a report also on the Zalman's Road drainage project. An update on that, please.
The Zalman's Road Drainage Project. Anything else?
And last meeting, I asked y'all to check on a tree that was on the 40 Upper Levee. I was looking to see if y'all had any opportunity to go check that out and give me a report on that.
On the 40.
That's it.
All right, thank you, Mr. Arabi. And Mr. Melvin.
Thank you. President Shasta, I was going to report to Dylan, and I'm going to send him an email as well. When I went to look at a drainage issue along Highway 1, approximately around 2100, there's a major culvert that goes under Highway 1, and went on the bias side. When I looked, it looked like it wants to carve under the highway, a little bit of Highway 1, which is pretty dangerous. So I will send an email. You don't really have to take a note on that. Also, I'd like to look at getting the levees shot back a thoroughbred and supercharged. I've gotten some calls. There's some levees along some houses, and I don't know how long ago those levees were built. It's before my time, but I know that they've subsided some, and some of the residents had some concerns, and I will email Dylan on that as well. Also, there's a ditch that I can just email Dylan about, same thing, 2100. It looks like somebody put some hay in an outfall, but I'll get with Dylan on that as well. Thank you.
All right, thank you, Mr. Melvin. Anyone else has any questions for the administration before I turn it over to the president? All right, Mr. President, if you're willing to answer Mr. Arabi's questions, you have the floor, sir.
I got him. So as John mentioned, we've been working with the levee district. It's something that we've been on them for about 2 years to do. And they, you know, not to say they drug their feet or anything, but there's some issues. And now that I think we're ready to go to construction, they're finally ready to start their portion. So it's gonna jack us around a little bit, but we'll work through it. The Butch Hill boat launch, we have plans ready to go to do it. The agreement we did with DOT to get the 1,500 yards of recycled material, we're actually gonna take when they start milling Highway 308 from 90 to wherever they're stopping going northbound. So as they mill it, they're gonna haul it for us. So that's what we're waiting on. When we get, that way we don't have to double handle it. They're gonna bring it straight to us where we need to go, and then we'll take the rest of the 1,500 yards that we don't use and stockpile it at the old landfill when they start milling. I will get you an answer from Dylan on the other stuff, Terry. I do know on the tree on Buford, we sent it to Lafourche Levee District. Bucky responded that the tree was on private property and they were not going to remove it since it was not blocking any sort of drainage. So that was their response. So we'll continue to work with them on that. And then Bo, I do know they moved in some equipment on Thoroughbred and Supercharged today. And that machinery is going to stay there until we finish everything in there. Like, we're not going to pull them off anymore. The field office has been directed to go in there and take care of everything we need to take care of, and then knock it out.
So the Zalman's Road project, you're going to wait from Dylan info?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one, I think, is still the one that we're waiting to figure out if we can get that one right away from that one guy. We did ask, and I'd have to go back and look, I know Lisa's in the back, we did ask about if we can't get a right of way to get that water through the swale ditch we need to get it through. The residents have come back and said, well, just pitch the road and let it sheet flow across our property. We just wanted to make sure there weren't any legal ramifications if we did that and somebody ends up, a shed floods, a house floods, some weird thing happens. I'll have to go back and check my notes, but that was the key part I think we were waiting on.
Very good. Thank you, Mr. President. Which brings us to item P, open discussion. Anyone has any other discussion before we take a recess? If no one has anything, I'll just comment. I'm appreciative of the parish administrator meeting today to talk about derelict vessels again. I know we did a huge effort a few years back, so I'm thankful that all the entities are back energized to get that addressed. Mr. President.
One more thing. I know we've talked about this before, but I'm Cody just sent out an email from Louisiana's Cajun Bayou. They, along with us, has partnered to do new wayfaring signs across the parish to dress everything up. We have for some time been waiting on the permit from DOTD. That permit was actually issued this afternoon, and they're going to work to putting that project out to bid in the coming weeks so we can move forward with it. So hopefully the next few months we'll have kind of brand new wayfaring signs as tourists come in. They're pretty close to moving into their new building as well, so it'll be kind of a great coincidence that we do both of those kind of at the same time to continue to dress out the parish.
So that'll include like the elevated boardwalk, the Valentine Pontoon Bridge.
That's right. and I do want to say too, Mr. Chair, just as a kind of, I should have done this a second ago, but as you guys approved that resolution with Rev, the animal shelter's in the process of the last few punch items and moving in their new facility, so we'll be scheduling a ribbon cutting with you guys soon to kind of dedicate that facility. I know Mr. Jeremy is here on behalf of the Lafourche Roping Club. Becky couldn't be here tonight as well, but we're going to be doing the big ribbon cutting on the rodeo arena and the ag complex during their rodeo on May 24th. So please mark your calendars for that. God willing, I'm going to try to cut the ribbon riding a horse. I'll see if I'll fall off, but we'll see what happens. But that's going to be a great facility. We walked it with Jake and his crew about a week ago, making the final preparations on what we need to dress that place out and get it ready for their rodeo. Work continues on the Galliana complex for the Lynn and Daniel down the bayou. We'll be posting some updated pictures of that soon with walls going up and floors going in. The courthouse and the annex continue to kind of work through those issues as well. Mr. Mark's been pretty up to date with that one as we kind of shift judges around. They've been doing court here, which has worked out I think quite well for everybody. We do have a meeting this week with the State Historic Preservation Society on the old courthouse to try to finish out and ironing out those issues with them as we try to figure out how to work on a 300-year-old building without making them mad. And then the library is continuing to work through some issues in Golden Meadow with that new library, as well as doing some work on the Gaines Library very early next year to improve it and get rid of some issues we have in that building. So a lot of building projects going on, Mr. Chairman. I think Mitch yesterday sent out, or maybe it was Thursday, sent out the updated report from Troy and the group over at ELOS with kind of the rundown of where we are with all the buildings. So kudos to those guys for keeping that up to date so we can share that information with you.
Thank you, Mr. President. I have a couple of people that have pressed their lights, so I will recognize Mr. Araby first.
Mr. Chairman, I'd like to relinquish some of my time to Mr. J. Sharamy to come up here and give us a little report on the rodeo arena, because they got that rodeo coming up.
Yeah, we're in discussion, and we got some time to kill, so absolutely. If you don't mind, we're going to turn the lectern on, but just state your name and address so we can pick it up on the record.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm Jake Sharamy, 102 Camry Court, Lockport, Louisiana, here on behalf of the Lafourche Roping Club and all things agriculture. I guess a year and a half ago, maybe 2 years ago, started with a vision that I know Mr. Terry Araby shared with me, and so did President Archie. And I met with some of you guys. I know I attended a board meeting October 2023, and tonight I'm here to thank all of y'all because we did get unanimous support on this project. Like I said, I'm here on behalf of the Roping Club, but more importantly, an advocate of all things agriculture my whole life. That's always been my thing, I'm a cowboy. So I'm a cattleman in this parish, cattle producer in this parish, and seeing this thing come to fruition and seeing it built now and from a bar napkin drawing to what we have now, it's impressive. And I want to thank all of you guys for supporting this project. More importantly, we have our first big show coming up, not this Saturday, but next. I want to personally invite all of y'all to try and make it if you can. We plan on putting on a hell of a show for you guys. This is going to allow us to do some things that line up with our vision and our mission statement as the Roping Club, and that's to encourage youth to get into agriculture. There's nothing wrong with playing baseball. There's nothing wrong with playing soccer, swim team. All these things are great to keep the youth involved in something, but there's also nothing wrong with cowboying. And I feel like we finally got our platform, and now we can show you what we can do with it. So having a facility like this is going to allow the Roping Club to fund things like clinics and youth organizations. We've got some very accomplished people in the world of rodeo and the sport of rodeo. They come from this area. Hopefully, we can kind of lift that up and encourage people to get involved. It makes you tough. It makes you resilient, but it's also just a great thing. A kid that got animals to take care of don't have time to get in trouble. So once again, thank you guys. I got some tickets that I'd like to just personally invite you if you can attend the rodeo. Obviously, you're going to be invited by the president to come to the ribbon cutting, but stick around for the rodeo. Like I said, we plan on putting on a show for you guys, and hopefully y'all can make it.
Got it.
Appreciate it, thank you. Already got it on my calendar. Thank you, sir. All right.
While he's wrapping up, Delaney, I'll go ahead and recognize you so we can help him get this recess before we get the rest of this Wednesday meeting. So you have the floor, Ms. Chasson.
I wanted to bring up the health unit. It's looking
Thank you.
beautiful.
Thank you, Jake.
We got the signage up on the outside and inside. I don't know what the inside's looking like, but outside's looking really great. So thank y'all for all the work y'all doing on that. But since we're on discussion, I also wanted to say on May 24th from 10 to 3, there's going to be a thing happening at the Cutoff Youth Center on suicide prevention from 10 to 3. So May 24th, if y'all can make it, that'd be great to show support.
Thank you, Ms. Chasson. Mr. Araby has pressed his button again. Mr. Araby, you have the floor, sir.
I just want to thank Jay for, and his board for spearheading this project and getting two different groups to work together. Like you said, it's a very fine project. It's a beautiful place now. It's something that we never dreamed of. As I'm a little boy, I never dreamed that was going to be there. So again, I know all your time is donated, and you've been spending quite a few hours there. And I want to thank you very much for looking out for, like you said, other recreational activities. So thank you.
Right. On a motion by the floor by Mr. Perk for a 10-minute recess, reconvening at 17:59 hours. Second by Mr. Adams. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion passed 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absent. That being Mr. Lorraine. Motion on the floor by Mr. Perk, second by Mr. Araby, to resume our deliberations for tonight. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. I'll now entertain a motion to deviate back to item H in the agenda. So moved by Mr. Melvin, second by Ms. Chasson. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item H, 2025 millages, public hearing and public meeting at 6 p.m. I'll now entertain a motion to open the public hearing and public meeting for the 2025 millages. So moved by Mr. Adams, second by Mr. Perk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to read through this discussion. At the end of it, if anybody wants to discuss it now, you can. But remember, we'll be bringing up each one of these items a little bit later, and you can discuss it at that time, which is what I would recommend. Item 4, discussion to levy not rolling forward 2025 millage rates for the following: public buildings, general alimony, criminal tax, health unit, library 014, recreational facilities, library 017, fire district number 1, fire district number 4, health and library, fire district number 9, fire district number 7, veterans memorial district, ward 10, council on aging, drainage works and roads, special service district number 1. So I think we'll just hold our discussion. So now I entertain a motion to close public hearing and public meetings for the 2025 millages. So moved by Mr. Adams, second by Mr. Perk. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absent. The absence being Mr. Lorraine. Brings us to item I, public hearing and public meeting and ordinances for ratification. This will be a voice roll call vote that will be taken on each ordinance. And then on the final signed copy of each ordinance, each council member's name will be noted as to which way they voted, next to yeas, nays, abstain, or absence. So now, I'll entertain a motion to open the public hearing and public meeting. So moved by Mr. Perk, second by Mr. Adams. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item 5, ordinance levying and imposing taxes for 2025 on all the property subject to taxation in the parish of Lafourche, public buildings. Mr. Perk for administration, second by Mr. Adams. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 5? Second call, public input, ordinance at 5. Last and final call, anyone from the public wants to comment on this ordinance? Anyone from the council wants to comment on this ordinance? There be none. I'll do roll call. Do you want me to just call? Mr. Brumfield? Yay. Mr. Adams? Aye. Yay. Mr. Perk? Yay. Yay. Mr. Otan? Yay. Mr. Melvin? Yay. Mr. Pierce? Yay. Mr. Araby? Yay. Ms. Chesson? So with that said, the motion passes with 8 yeas, 0 nays, that absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item 6, ordinance levying and imposing taxes for 2025 on all the property subject to taxation in the parish of Lafourche general alimony. Mr. Adams for the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Anyone from the public wants to comment on item 6? Second call, public input, ordinance at 6. Last and final call. Anyone from the public wants to comment on this ordinance? Anyone from the council? There being none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Brumfield? Yay. Mr. Adams? Yay. Mr. Perk? Yay. Mr. Otans, yay. Mr. Melvin? Yay. Mr. Pierce? Yay. Mr. Araby? Yay. Ms. Chesson? With that said, motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item 7, ordinance levying and imposing taxes for 2025 on all the property subject to taxation in the parish of Lafourche criminal tax. Mr. Perk for the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Anyone from the public wants to comment on the ordinance at number 7? Second call, public input, ordinance at 7. Last and final call, anyone from the public wants to comment on the ordinance at number 7? Anyone from the council? There being none, we'll bring it to a roll call vote. Mr. Brumfield? Yay. Mr. Adams? Yay. Mr. Perk? Yay. Mr. Otans, yay. Mr. Melvin? Yay. Mr. Pierce? Yay. Mr. Araby? Ms. Chesson? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item 8, ordinance levying and imposing taxes for 2025 on all the property subject to taxation in the parish of Lafourche Health Unit. Mr. Adams for the administration, second by Mr. Brumfield. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 8? Second call, public input on the ordinance at number 8. Last and final call, anyone from the public wants to comment on ordinance number 8? Anyone from the council? There be none, we'll bring it to a roll call vote. Mr. Brumfield? Yay. Mr. Adams? Yay. Mr. Perk? Yay. Mr. Otans, yay. Mr. Melvin? Yay. Mr. Pierce? Yay. Mr. Araby? Yay. Mr. Chesson? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item 9, ordinance levying and imposing taxes for 2025 on all the property subject to taxation in the parish of Lafourche, Library 014. Mr. Adams for the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Anyone from the public wants to comment on the ordinance at number 9? Second call, public input on the ordinance at number 9. Last and final call. Anyone from the public wants to comment on the ordinance at 9? Anyone from the council? There being none, we'll bring it to a roll call vote. Mr. Brumfield? Yay. Mr. Adams? Yay. Mr. Perk? Yay. Mr. Otans, yay. Mr. Melvin? Yay. Mr. Pierce? Yay. Mr. Araby? Yay. Ms. Chesson? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. The absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item 10, ordinance levying and imposing taxes for 2025 on all the property subject to taxation in the parish of Lafourche recreational facilities. Mr. Perk for the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 10? Second call, public input, ordinance at number 10. Last and final call, anyone from the public wants to comment on this ordinance? Anyone from the council? There being none, we'll bring it to a roll call vote. Mr. Brumfield? Yay. Mr. Adams? Yay. Mr. Perk? Yay. Mr. Otans, yay. Mr. Melvin? Yay. Mr. Pierce? Yay. Mr. Araby? Yay. Ms. Chesson? Motion passes with 7 yeas, 0 nays, 1 abstention. That abstention being Ms. Chesson, and 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. Good, Ms. Corleen?
Yes, sir.
Item 11, ordinance levying and imposing taxes for 2025 on all the property subject to taxation in the parish of Lafourche, Library 017. Mr. Adams for the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 11? Second call, public input, ordinance at number 11. Last and final call, anyone from the public wants to comment on the ordinance at number 11? Anyone from the council? There being none, we'll bring it to a roll call vote. Mr. Brumfield? Yay. Mr. Adams? Yay. Mr. Perk? Yay. Mr. Otans, yay. Mr. Melvin? Yay. Mr. Pierce? Yay. Mr. Araby? Yay. Ms. Chesson? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item 12, ordinance levying and imposing taxes for 2025 on all the property subject to taxation in the Parish of Lafourche Fire Protection District Number 1. Mr. Araby for the administration, second by Mr. Pierce. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 12? Second call, public input, ordinance at number 12. Last and final call. Anyone from the public wants to comment on this ordinance? Anyone from the council? There being none, we'll bring it to a roll call vote. Mr. Brumfield. Yay. Mr. Adams. Yay. Mr. Perk. Yay. Mr. Otenez, yay. Mr. Melvin. Yay. Mr. Pierce. Mr. Araby. Yay. Ms. Chesson. Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. The absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item 13, ordinance levying and imposing taxes for 2025 on all the property subject to taxation in the Parish of Lafourche Fire Protection District Number 4. Mr. Melvin for the administration, second by Mr. Araby. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 13? Second call, public input, ordinance at 13. Last and final call, anyone from the public wants to comment on ordinance at number 13? Anyone from the council? There being none, roll call vote. Mr. Brumfield. Yay. Mr. Adams. Yay. Mr. Perk. Yay. Mr. Otenez, yay. Mr. Melvin. Yay. Mr. Pierce. Yay. Mr. Araby. Yay. Ms. Chesson. Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item 14, ordinance levying and imposing taxes for 2025 on all the property subject to taxation in the Parish of Lafourche Health and Library. Mr. Adams for the administration, second by Mr. Perk. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 14? Second call, public input, ordinance at 14. Last and final call, anyone from the public wants to comment on the ordinance at number 14? Anyone from the council? There being none, we'll bring it to a roll call vote. Mr. Brumfield. Yay. Mr. Adams. Yay. Mr. Perk. Yay. Mr. Otenez, yay. Mr. Melvin. Yay. Mr. Pierce. Yay. Mr. Araby. Yay. Ms. Chesson. Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item 15, ordinance levying and imposing taxes for 2025 on all the property subject to taxation in the Parish of Lafourche Fire Protection District Number 9. Mr. Araby for the administration, second by Mr. Pierce. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 15? Second call, public input on the ordinance at 15. Last and final call, anyone wants to comment on this ordinance? Anyone from the council? There be none, we'll do a roll call vote. Mr. Brumfield. Yay. Mr. Adams. Yay. Mr. Perk. Yay. Mr. Otenez, yay. Mr. Melvin. Yay. Mr. Pierce. Yay. Mr. Araby. Yay. Ms. Chesson. Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item 16, ordinance levying and imposing taxes for 2025 on all the property subject to taxation in the Parish of Lafourche Fire Protection District Number 7. Mr. Araby for the administration, second by Mr. Pierce. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 16? Second call, public input on the ordinance at 16. Last and final call, would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at 16? Anyone from the council? There being none, bring it to a roll call vote. Mr. Brumfield. Yay. Mr. Adams. Yay. Mr. Perk. Yay. Mr. Otenez, yay. Mr. Melvin. Yay. Mr. Pierce. Yay. Mr. Araby. Yay. Ms. Chesson. Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item 17, ordinance levying and imposing taxes for 2025 on all the property subject to taxation in the Parish of Lafourche Veterans Memorial District, Ward 10. Mr. Perk will move on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at number 17? Second call, public input on the ordinance at 17. Last and final call, anyone from the public wants to comment on this ordinance? Anyone from the council? There being none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? I'm sorry. Roll call vote. Mr. Brumfield. She switched pages. Mr. Brumfield. Mr. Adams. Yay. Mr. Perk. Yay. Mr. Otenez, yay. Mr. Melvin. Yay. Mr. Pierce. Yay. Mr. Araby. Ms. Chesson. Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That 1 absence is Mr. Lorraine. And that's one of the first times y'all all caught me. Usually y'all just let me keep going too. So everybody was on their game today. Very proud of y'all. I'm a proud papa today. Item 18, ordinance levying and imposing taxes for 2025 on all the property subject to taxation in the Parish of Lafourche Council on Aging. Mr. Perk for the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Would anyone from the public like to comment on the ordinance at 18? Second call, public input on the ordinance at 18. Last and final call, anyone from the public wants to comment on this ordinance? Anyone from the council? There being none, we'll bring it to a roll call vote. Mr. Brumfield. Yay. Mr. Adams. Yay. Mr. Perk. Yay. Mr. Otenez, yay. Mr. Melvin. Yay. Mr. Pierce. Yay. Mr. Araby. Yay. Ms. Chesson. Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item 19, ordinance levying and imposing taxes for 2025 on all the property subject to taxation in the parish of Lafourche, drainage works and roads. Mr. Perk for the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Would anyone from the public comment on the ordinance at number 19? Second call, public input on the ordinance at number 19. Last and final call. Anyone from the public wants to comment on the ordinance at number 19? Anyone from the council? There being none, we'll bring it to a vote. All in, Mr. Brumfield. Mr. Adams. Mr. Pert. Mr. Otans, yay. Mr. Melvin. Mr. Pierce. Mr. Araby. Ms. Chesson. Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absent. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. Item 20, ordinance levying and imposing taxes for 2025 on all the properties subject to taxation in the parish of Lafourche, Special Service District Number 1. Mr. Perk on behalf of the administration, second by Mr. Adams. Would anyone from the public like to comment on item 20? Second call, public input, ordinance at 20. Last and final call. Anyone from the public wants to comment on this ordinance? There be none. Anyone from the council wants to discuss? All right, roll call vote. Mr. Brumfield? Mr. Adams? Mr. Perk? Mr. Otans, yay. Mr. Melvin? Mr. Pierce? Mr. Araby? Ms. Chesson? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. The absence being Mr. Lorraine. We'll now entertain a motion to close the public hearing and public meeting. Mr. Adams, so moved by Mr. Adams, second by Mr. Perk. Do we want to do a roll call vote? Yeah. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absent. The absence being Mr. Lorraine. I'll now entertain a motion to deviate back to item Q, adjournment. So moved by Mr. Adams, second by Mr. Brumfield. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absence. That absence being Mr. Lorraine. And now, item Q, adjournment. On a motion by Mr. Pierce, second by Mr. Araby, and with no further business, Lafourche Parish Council regular meeting of May 13, 2025 will be adjourned at 18:14 hours. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Is anyone opposed? Motion passes 8 yeas, 0 nays, 1 absent. The absence being Mr. Lorraine. Thank you all.